Good morning, everyone. And this is our video lecture 26 of this antenna and wave propagation series. And in our last lecture, we have started studying non-uniform antenna array or the antenna arrays with uniform inter-element spacing and non-uniform excitations. The first topic we had studied under the heading of non-uniform antenna array is binomial array. And in that antenna array, we found that the excitations of the element of antenna array are found using binomial expansion. And to be very precise, if we are having a capital N elements in the antenna array, and we need to design a binomial antenna array with capital N element, in that case, we expand 1 plus x to the power n minus 1, 1 less than the total number of elements in the antenna array. And the coefficient found in the expansion will be used as the excitation for different antenna elements in the antenna array. And we also learned that binomial antenna array or in the radiation pattern of binomial antenna array, there is no side lobes until the inter-element spacing is less than or equal to lambda by 2. But in case when this spacing d between every two consecutive element is more than lambda by 2, in that case you find side lobes in the binomial array. And the major drawback with binomial antenna array is that the relative magnitudes of the excitation is very differing from each other. That means it is possible that in an antenna array, if one antenna is or one antenna element is excited with suppose magnitude 1, and some other will be excited with magnitude 256. So that poses a very great problem for the designers of designing a power supply to drive such an antenna. Now, today we are going to the next or second antenna array, second non-uniform antenna array, which is Dolph-Chebyshev antenna array. This antenna array was basically designed by Dolph, and then it is modified by Chebyshev and many other researchers also. So this antenna array is based on Chebyshev polynomial, or I should say Chebyshev and Dolph both are the main creator of this antenna array. So this antenna array or the excitation found for the different element is the objective of designing non-uniform antenna array, because the inter-element spacing is already given to you, and the excitations are found as we have found excitation using binomial expansion in the binomial antenna array. Here we found the excitation using a very interesting polynomial, or a polynomial with very interesting properties known as Chebyshev polynomial. Okay, so first of all, we will understand what is the meaning of Chebyshev polynomial, and later on we will understand how to use these polynomials for finding the excitation of the antenna array, so that we can design a Dolph-Chebyshev antenna array, or more precisely it is known as Chebyshev antenna array. As we understood, or as we studied in our last class, that array factor for a non-uniform antenna array is given by summation for n is equals to 1 to m an cos of I think an cos of some angle inside the cosine function. The most important thing here is that array factor for both the cases, either you are having odd number of elements in the antenna array or even number of elements in the antenna array, it is a function of cosines. Okay, so let us look, or let us understood Chebyshev polynomial in terms of cosine functions. Okay, so I am as you can see on the screen, as you can see on the screen, we are presenting cosines of u for or cos of mu for different values of m, and we try to expand the same in terms of cos of u. Okay, u, what is u? U is a variable, and m is an integer arbitrary variable. So we will vary this m integer by, we'll start varying this m from 0, 1, 2 up to, and you can let it go to whatever number you want. So if we substitute m is equals to 0 in cos of mu, what you have is cos 0, that is just represented by 1. as you can see on the first row. If in place of m you substitute 1, this is not 2, this is 1, 2 is here. So when you substitute m is equals to 1 in cos of mu, what you have is cos u, which is a function of cos u. There is no problem. When you substitute m is equals to t, you have cos of 2u, and this cos of 2u can be expressed as 2 cos square u minus 1, again a function of cos u. Okay, as I already told to you, we are going to expand cos of mu for every integer m in terms of cos of u. Okay, for m is equals to 3, we substitute cos m is equals to 3 in cos of mu. We have cos 3u, and cos 3u can be written as 4 cos cube u minus 3 cos u, as and again the function is represented in terms of cos. Similarly, for m is equals to 4, we represent it by in terms of cos of 4u, and cos of 4u is given by cos of for expansion of 4u, you can write it as cos of 3u plus u, and this cos of 3u plus u can then be later on converted to this expression 8 cos to the power 4u minus 8 cos square u plus 1. In this manner, for different values of m, for different integer m, you can express the cos mu function in terms of cos u. Okay, now if we assume cos u to be z, if we assume cos u is equals to z, and in every of these definitions of cos for different values, every of these definitions of cos of mu for different values of m, we replace cos u by z. In that case, what you have is like this. For m is equals to 0, you have cos mu is equals to 1, so that remains 1. For m is equals to 1, you have cos u, and in place of cos u, you replace it by z. Okay. Then for m is equals to 2, you have cos 2u, which is 2 cos square u minus 1. So we replace cos u by z, and what you have is 2z square minus 1. Similarly, for m is equals to 3, cos 3u is written as 4z cube minus 3z, because cos 3u is expanded as 4 cos cube u minus 3 cos u. Okay. So in this manner, we replace every cos u by z and define each of these polynomials. For m is equals to 0, you get 1. We define it as t0z, a polynomial of for m is equals to 0 in z, t0z. For m is equals to 1, what you find these result z, we define it as t1z. For m is equals to 2, we define 2z square minus 1 as t2z. For m is equals to 3, we define 4z cube minus 3z as t3z. For m is equals to 4, we define 8z to the power 4 minus 8z square plus 1 as t4z, and so on and so on. You can do it for many different numbers, many up to a large values of m. It depends on the demand of your design, what kind of or what, up to what number of antenna elements you want to design Chebyshev antenna. Okay, so what is the basic thing to understand here is that all these polynomials t0z, t1z, t2z, t3z, t4z, or in general tmz are Chebyshev polynomials. Okay, and these Chebyshev polynomials are differing in their degrees. So the first polynomial t0z is a Chebyshev polynomial of degree 0, and it is defined as 1. Second polynomial, that is t1z, is of degree 1 and defined as z. Third one is t2z with degree 2, defined as tz, 2z square minus 1, up to tmz, which is a Chebyshev polynomial of degree n. Okay, now I hope up to this point there is no problem. What we have did, since antenna factors or array factors for non-uniform antenna arrays are defined in terms of cosines of u, cos of u or cos of 2u or cos of 3u and so on and so on. So we represent every of these cos of u, 2u, 3u and so on in terms of cos u, as you can see here, and replace cos of u in terms of z. What you get are defined as Chebyshev polynomial and with different degrees. So we have t0z, t1z, t2, t3, t4 as Chebyshev polynomials of degree 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 respectively. Okay. Then if you look for these polynomials or how to find these polynomials, it is better to look in terms of cosine functions. Then you can reach to the result more more easily. So every of these Chebyshev polynomial can be recursively found using some of the previous polynomials. And the recursion formula is defined as Tmz is equals to 2z times Tm minus 1z minus Tm minus 2z. That means the Chebyshev polynomial of degree m can be found using Chebyshev polynomials of degree m minus 1 and m minus 2. Is that clear? So if you have, suppose you need to find T3z. So T3z can be found using T2z and T1z. If you know T1z, we know very well T1z is z. If you know T2z, T2z is 2z square minus 1. If you know the two things, then you substitute those functions here. T2z into T2z minus T1z. Substituting the values of T2z and T1z, you can find the value of T3z. Okay, so in this manner, uh, the Chebyshev polynomial for any larger degree can be easily found. Okay, this will reduce our labor to first of all expressing cos of mu in terms of cos u and then replacing this every of the cos u in terms of z. So it is quite laborious process. So using this recursion formula, we can find the Chebyshev polynomial for any integer degree m, provided you have to find all these Chebyshev polynomial in a sequence. You have to first return that T0z is 1, T1z is cos T1z is z, T2z is 2z square minus 1. These three things you have to keep in your mind, and then using these three things you can find the T3, then using T3 and T2 you can find T4, then using T4 and T3 you can find T5, and T4 and T5 you can find T6, and so on and so on. So in this manner you can find Chebyshev polynomial in a sequential manner. Okay, now as I told you that the Chebyshev polynomials are having very interesting properties. Now what's the properties and why and how we can use this Chebyshev polynomial in our for designing a non-uniform antenna array is the topic we are going to handle now. So the properties of Chebyshev polynomials are, since we have already considered that the cos u is defined as z, or cos u is replaced by z. Okay, that means the z used here that means the z you can see in this Chebyshev polynomials of different degree. All this z is actually cos of u, and we know very well that cos of u cosine function will always lie between -1 and +1. Okay, so since cos u lies between -1 and +1, correspondingly z is also between -1 and +1. And this is the first property of the I should say, or the limitation at this particular stage, that the variable z will always vary from -1 to +1 if we want to use these definitions of Chebyshev polynomials. Okay, Chebyshev polynomial can also be defined for z greater than 1 or z less than -1, but the definition is little different from this definition. In that condition, we consider something else for z. Okay, so in this particular case, when we consider z is equals to cos u, the value of z will always lie between -1 and -1. And when you substitute any value between -1 and 1 in these Chebyshev polynomials, the result will always, the T2z, if you vary this z from -1 to 1 in T2z, the magnitude of T2z will also lie between -1 and 1. Why? Because T2z is actually representing cos 2u. T2z is what? T2z is equal to 2 cos square u minus 1, which is actually cos 2u, and the cos is replaced by z. So actually, z lies between -1 and 1. And when you vary values of z between -1 and 1, what you have, the results will also lie between -1 and 1. So the Chebyshev polynomials will also have the magnitude lies between -1 and 1. That's the second property of, and this property is very important from our point of view. Now, all values of z for which Tmz is equals to 0, we know very well the for any given polynomial, if you find the value of, suppose you have a polynomial in x defined as fx, and you try to find some value of x for which fx is equals to 0, then those values of x are known as roots of the polynomial. Okay, for example, you have a quadratic polynomial. You have ax square plus bx plus c type polynomial, and you need to find the roots of this quadratic polynomial. Then what you do, you consider ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0, and the roots of polynomial will be x is equals to minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2. Okay, we know very well these are the roots of the quadratic equation or solution of the quadratic polynomial, roots of the quadratic polynomial. Okay, so in this case also, all values of z for which tmz is equals to 0, that means all the roots of tmz is equals to 0 will always lie between minus 1 and 1. Obviously, because the values of z for which tmz is equals to 0 will be a value of z itself. Okay, and we know that value of z will always lie between minus 1 and 1. Okay, okay. Next thing is maxima and minima in range of minus 1 to 1 for all tmz is plus 1 and minus 1. It is also, you can, if you use a computer program to draw Chebyshev, you use, I hope in your MATLAB classes you have learned how to use MATLAB for plotting different functions. So you should write a function tmz in a general Chebyshev polynomial of degree m, and for various degrees of m or various values of m, for m is equals to 0, 1, 2 up to suppose 10, try to plot tmz by varying z from minus 1 to plus 1. When you plot the function, what you find is very interesting. The functions are achieving their maximas and minimas at minus 1. tmz is equals to minus 1 and plus 1. Okay, so that's an important result. If you go to your books and try to understand the Chebyshev polynomial, then you found the figures also, figures or the plot of the Chebyshev polynomial. Okay, now as I told you that tmz or the Chebyshev polynomial of degree m is actually expansion of cos of mu. Okay, in terms of cos of u, and every of these cos of u is replaced by z. So I have written over there that tmz is actually cos of mu, where cos of u is replaced by z. When you replace cos of u by z, equivalently you can write u to be cos inverse z, and substituting this cos inverse z here in the definition of the Chebyshev polynomial, tmz can also be defined as cos of m cos inverse z. What's the use of this polynomial? We will see. Okay, why we are representing Chebyshev polynomial in terms of this function also. Okay, so again this is a function of z, and this function is same as the function we have defined earlier for Chebyshev polynomial of different degrees. Now in this particular case, the value of z will always lie between minus 1 and 1. So mathematically this is written like this, that z is greater than or equal to minus 1 and less than or equal to 1. And we have verified that for these values tmz will also vary from minus 1 to 1. So you can write that for z minus lying between minus 1 and 1, the magnitude of tmz will always lie between minus 1 and 1. Magnitude, no, not magnitude, rather tmz lies between minus 1 and 1. The same thing for z is greater than or equal to minus 1 is less than or equal to 1 is also written mathematically as mod z greater than 1. What is the meaning of mod z? Mod z means taking the magnitude only. Okay, if z is negative, then also you will get mod z positive. Okay, so when z is minus 1, mod z is again 1, and when z is plus 1, it is again 1, and in between these value, mod z will be always less than 1. Okay, so for z varying from minus 1 to 1, you can represent the same range as mod z less than or equal to 1. Many of the time, these kind of notations are there in the books. So that's why I have written the things here. The thing when z is greater than 1, or the thing when z is less than minus 1, or more, or in another form, you can write the same thing as mod z greater than 1. When mod z is greater than 1, when z is greater than 1 or z is less than minus 1, in that case, this definition doesn't work. Okay, in that case, you define z as cos of hu, hyperbolic functions. Okay, this is another definition which is used for understanding Chebyshev polynomials. Since Chebyshev polynomials, what we had understood till now, are defined only for z in the range from -1 to +1, but z can be greater than -1 or z can be less than 1. So in that case, we need another definition for the z, and the definition when z is greater than 1 or less than -1 is defined as z is equals to cos of h. And in that case, u will be is equals to cos h inverse z. Okay. So, and using these definition, the Chebyshev polynomial TMZ is also defined as cos hyperbolic function of mu. Keep this thing in mind. When z is less than 1, TMZ is defined as cos of mu. But when z is greater than 1, TMZ is defined as cos hyperbolic mu. Where u is not cos inverse z, rather u is equals to cos h inverse z. So you have a comprehensive definition for Chebyshev polynomial for all possible values of z. When z is lying between or mod z is less than or equal to 1, Chebyshev polynomial will be defined as cos m cos inverse z. When mod of z is greater than 1, in that case it is defined as cos h of m cos h inverse z. What is the meaning of cos h? What is the meaning of cos h inverse? I hope you all understand about the hyperbolic trigonometric functions. Okay, so that's all about the Chebyshev polynomial of different degrees. Now we are heading towards finding the or designing a Chebyshev antenna array. Okay. So the statement of designing of antenna array is maybe the question in your examination paper will be something like design a broadside Dolch-Chebyshev antenna array of n elements with inter-element spacing d, and side lobes are R0 dB below to maximum value. Find excitation coefficients. Okay, so question is how you have to find the excitation coefficient. You have an antenna array with n elements, and the inter-element spacing between every two consecutive elements is d. So as we have already designed for odd number of elements, the center element will be having a magnitude or excitation 2a1. Then there will be at a distance d, two antennas are placed which are having excitation a2. Then further d distance apart, there are two elements with excitation a3, and so on up to finally you have two elements am plus 1 and am plus 1 excitation. For even the case you already know. So your objective is to find these a1, a2, a3, a4, a5 and so on and so on. Okay. The things which are in your hand, which are given to you, are very interesting in this particular case. One thing is given to you that the spacing is d, inter-element spacing is d, which we already understand. You have given that side lobes are R0 dB below to the maximum value. So when you design an antenna, that antenna, if the antenna is directive, then it will radiate maximum in a particular direction. And what it radiates maximum in a particular direction, suppose that radiated maximum power is denoted by Pmax. Okay, then it is given that the side lobes should be R0 dB below to the maximum value. What does this mean? That if try to visualize that you have placed an antenna array, this antenna array is producing two lobes. One is major lobe, which is which is in the direction of maximum radiation, which is very large, and there is a side lobe. Okay, a small side lobe in some other direction. Okay, now the maxima of the side lobe, obviously this is smaller than the maxima of the major lobe. It is given to you that the maximum of side lobe should be R0 dB less than the maximum of the major lobe. The meaning of this statement here is this. Okay, so on the basis of this definition, you have to find the, or you have to design the Chebyshev antenna array. And I hope that we are comfortable with the Chebyshev polynomial. Okay, so assume that n is even. When we assume n is even, array factor is given by this expression, n is equals to 1 to capital M, n cos of 2n minus 1 kd cos theta by 2, where n can vary from 1, 2, 3 up to capital M. Okay, as written on the summation. And kd cos theta by 2 is replaced. This expression we have already studied. Okay. Now for designing the Chebyshev polynomial, we consider this kd cos theta by 2 as u. Okay, so it is KD cos theta by 2 is replaced by U, and the expression for array factor become AN cos of 2n minus 1 U. Now, what is this value of M? What's the meaning of the value of M? So we have defined in our previous lecture that if n is the number of antennas, and if n is even, then this n can be represented as 2m. If this n is odd, then this n can be represented as 2m plus 1. So since here we have considered n as even, n will be equals to 2m, and correspondingly this m used here is actually n by 2. Okay. So suppose n is 10, then m will be 5. Later on we'll perform a numerical, so the same thing will be more clear, as I hope. Okay, so if n is odd, the expression for array factor will be like an cos of n kd cos theta. In that case, you are not having kd cos theta by 2, rather you are having kd cos theta. So in that case, you consider kd cos theta to be equals to u, and the expression for array factor will be n is equals to 1 to m an cos of nu. And again, the values of m will be found using n is equals to 2m plus 1, or m will be equals to n minus 1 by 2. Yes, as you can see. This is the array factor for odd number of elements. So the expression for array factor must be expanded in terms of cos u. As you can see in both the cases, when n is even or when n is odd, array factor will be sum of cos u, cos 3u, 5u, 7u, 8u, and so on and so on, multiplied with some coefficients of the excitations of the antenna elements, and we try to expand this array factor expression in terms of cos of u. We had already understood that how to convert this cos mu to expression of cos of u. That can be easily performed using that recursion formula. Okay. So now, if number of elements in the antenna array is capital N, then find z is equals to z0 such that Tn minus 1 z0 is equals to r0. Now, what we do, suppose you have to design an antenna array of 10 elements. Okay. Then you use a Chebyshev polynomial of degree 1 less than the number of elements. That's the degree 9 Chebyshev polynomial T9z, and you try to find T9z or the value of z such that T9z will be equals to R0. What is this R0? This R0 is that magnitude of the maximum value of minor side lobe. Okay, this is already given to you that the amplitude or peak value of the minor lobe should be R0 dB less than the maximum value. Once it is given that R0 dB less, what does this mean? This means that if the maximum power of the major lobe is P major and the maximum power of the minor lobe is P minor, then it is given that P max by P min is R0. Okay, or P max by P min in terms, since the question is given in terms of dB, that's why 10 log 10 plus P max by P min is P major by P minor will be equals to R0. Okay, so once you have this R0, first of all you have to convert that R0 into ratio of powers P major by P minor, and once you have this, you substitute the thing here, R0 in the R0 or voltage ratio here, and then Tn minus 1 Z0. You find the value of Z such that the Chebyshev polynomial with degree less than 1 less than the number of elements in the antenna array will be equals to R0. You try to find this value of Z. Okay, what you get as some values of Z0, that value of Z0 will be used for using this definition. Yeah, this is to solve the equation. Later on we'll perform an experiment. So Z, what is Z0? Z0 is the value of Z for which the magnitude of Tn minus 1 Z0 is R0 dB less than the maximum value. What is the maximum value by the? So as we have considered that the Chebyshev polynomial, in Chebyshev polynomial, the maximum value of Chebyshev polynomial will be 1. Okay, corresponding to some value, suppose z is equals to 1. So as I have written over there, if we assume that z1 to be the null, nearest to z is equals to plus 1. Okay, the same figure you can see here. So at z is equals to plus 1, you are having maxima. What is this maxima? This maxima is 1. And z1 is, and as you start reducing this value of z, you find that the Chebyshev polynomial it start decreasing, and at value z is equals to z1, you find a null. Okay, so z1 is the null. And as you further reduce this value of z, at z is equals to z0. What is z0? So we have found z0 in the previous step. Z0 is the value of z at which the magnitude become R0 dB less than the maximum value. That means it will be R0 dB less than this maximum value here. So this is the position z equals to z0 where amplitude will become this value, and this value is R0 dB less than this particular value. So you are having 3 points, z0, z1, and z is equals to plus 1. Okay, so if we assume z1 to be the null nearest to the z equals to plus 1, then in the range z0 to z1, this is the range. We are talking about this range. In the range z0 to z1 is the part of minor side lobe. Okay, now let's again imagine what is going on. Okay, so you place an antenna array and you close your eyes and imagine that there is a direction of maximum radiation. Okay, in a particular direction there is maximum radiation. As you move away from this direction, you found that the radiated power reducing, and in a particular direction you are getting that the radiated power becomes 0. Okay, so the direction corresponding to which the major side lobe is radiating maximum will correspond to z is equals to plus 1 in the figure. Okay, as you move away from this position, or as you change direction, you found that there is a particular direction in which there is no power radiated. This is the direction in which the major side lobe reduces to 0, or the power radiated in that particular direction is 0. This is the position of null. So this z1 is the position, or this is the value of z which is representing that direction of null. Okay, and as you further go on reducing or moving to other direction, you find that the value or the magnitude of radiated power increases to certain value. Okay, and you want to go to a direction where the radiated power become R0 dB less than the maximum value. Okay, so you find this Z0 as the R0 dB, Z0 as the point at which the radiated power is R0 dB less than this maximum value. This is this maximum value. Okay, so the range between Z0 and Z1 is actually the portion between null to the peak value of the side lobe. I hope you can easily draw a figure in which there is a major lobe and there is a small side lobe. So the region between null is always between major lobe and minor lobe. There is a straight line separating major lobe and minor lobe. That line is actually the null line. So if the null and the maximum value of minor lobe, the separation, this is small separation, is represented by this region between Z0 and Z1. And similarly, the region between Z1 and Z is equals to plus 1 is representing the major lobe, the portion between that null line and the direction of maxima. Okay, so Z is equals to plus 1 representing the position in which the direction in which maximum radiation is going on, and Z equals to Z0 is representing a direction in which there is a side lobe with maximum value R0 dB less than the maximum value of the major side lobe. Okay, and Z1 is the position of null. Okay, so after finding Z0, what we do, instead of substituting cos u is equals to Z in the expression for array factor, we substitute cos u is equals to Z by Z0. Why it is so? Later on, when we will perform the numerical, we'll find, we'll solve the numerical, we'll find that this makes the Chebyshev polynomial to be bounded under the range of plus 1 to minus 1. Okay, so it is some sort of normalization of that. Okay, so we substitute cos u is equals to Z by Z0 in the factor of in the array factor expression. And by comparing the coefficients of Z to the power n, when you substitute cos u is equals to Z by Z0 in the expression for array factor, you may have a polynomial in terms of z, and you try to compare the coefficients in the of various powers of z in the array factor expression to tn minus 1 z. When you compare the two things, you can find the different coefficients for the array factor or for the antenna array. Okay, again the same thing which we have understood in case of the binomial antenna array is also applicable here, that in normalized form, by dividing all an by maximum of an will result in coefficient of array factor, and we can write expression for the. What does that mean? That means that the values of a1, a2, a3, a4, an what you will find using this expression are representing relative magnitudes. It doesn't mean that if an is equals to 1, that means you have to supply 1 ampere current to that particular antenna. This means that if a1 is equals to 1 and a2 is equals to 3, and you are supplying a1 with 1 milliampere current, in that case a2 should be supplied with 3 milliampere current, 3 times the value of a1. Okay, so this should be kept in mind, that this a1, a2, a3, a4, an are relative magnitudes. Okay, so now to understand how to design a Dolch-Chebyshev antenna array, we perform an experiment here. Or we solve a numerical here. Okay, so design a broadside Dolch-Chebyshev antenna array of 10 elements with spacing d, and major to minor lobe ratio is given by 2060. Find excitation coefficient and form for the array factor. Okay, so form for the array factor I will left for you. Once you have a1, a2, a3, a4, a10 or a5, you write the expression for array factor by your own. So what is given to you? You have given that there are 10 elements. So capital N is given as 10. When capital N is given as 10, N is even, that means so N can be equalized to 2M. So when we substitute 2M is equals to 10, M will be equals to 5, and the array factor expression will be having 5 terms for N is equals to 1 to 5. Okay, so I have written the general expression for array factor with even number of antenna elements in the antenna array. It is N is equals to 1 to M, an cos 2n minus 1 kt cos theta by 2. We substitute kt cos theta by 2, or we replace kt cos theta by 2 by u, and 2m will be compared to 10, so that we have M is equals to 5. I hope this I have already made clear to you. Okay, so AF 2m or array factor for this even number of elements is given by n is equals to 1 to 5 an cos 2n minus 1 u. By substituting a values of n from 1 to 5, what you have is the expression for array factor a1 cos u plus a2 cos 3u plus a3 cos 5u plus a4 cos 7u plus a5 cos 9. Okay, okay, assume this is to be an equation. Now the second thing given to you is that the inter-element spacing is d. You consider, okay, it is d, that's why we replace here, or the d is used here, kt cos theta by 2, so the inter-element spacing will be used here. The third thing given to you is the major to minor side lobe is 26 dB. Major to minor lobe ratio is 26 dB. Now what's the meaning of major to minor lobe ratio is 26 dB? So what does this mean? This means that the ratio of the ratio of maximum value of major lobe to the maximum value of the minor lobe, when represented in dB, you get 26 dB. Or in other words, you can say that the maximum value of the major side lobe is 26 dB more than the maximum value of the minor side. Okay, or you can say the maximum value of the minor lobe will be 26 dB less than the major lobe. If major lobe is considered to be suppose 100 dB, in that case minor lobe will be 100 minus 26 dB, that is 74 dB. Okay, so that's what is given to you, major to minor side lobe. Okay, so we have written expression for array factor. Then we go to this expression for array factor in terms of cosine u, cos 3u, 5u, 7u as given in equation number 4. Now it is given that major lobe to minor lobe in dB is given by 26 dB. So when it is given 26 dB, then in terms of ratio you can find it by comparing to this 20 log 10 base R0. When it is written major lobe to minor lobe, it is actually the ratio of amplitudes. So in general, major lobe to minor lobe ratio means the ratio of the amplitudes of the field. So major lobe to minor lobe, since it is representing amplitude, dB value is represented by 20 log 10 base. Since if it is the ratio of powers, in that case it will be represented by 10 log 10 base. I have made the same thing clear in the class one or more times, that if you want to convert power ratios to dB, you should use 10 log 10 base power ratio. If you want to convert voltage ratios to dB, you should use 20 log 10 base voltage ratio. Okay, so in that case, in this particular case, major lobe to minor lobe is actually the voltage ratio, and that's why we use the expression 20 log 10 base R0. So R0 dB, R0 dB, this value is given to you as 26, and this R0 is the actually ratio of major lobe to minor lobe, maximum values of major lobe to minor lobe. So what you have, R0 is approximately a 19.95, or approximately we consider it to be 20. Okay, so this, what does this mean? What's the meaning of 26 dB, the major to minor lobe 26 dB? That means if major lobe is having 100 dB power, minor or major lobe is having 100 dB amplitude, minor lobe will be having 74 dB amplitude, 26 dB less. But in case when you convert it to voltage ratio, what does this mean? When you convert it to ratio, you find that ratio of major lobe amplitude to minor lobe amplitude is 20. That means major lobe is 20 times more than the minor lobe. If minor lobe is having 1 volt amplitude, major lobe will be having 20 volt amplitude. So that's what the that's how we convert R0 in dB to R0 in voltage ratio. So that's the voltage ratio here. Now since it is given that the total number of elements it is in the antenna array is 10, so what we do, we try to find a value of z, for which value of z for uh, value of z for Chebyshev polynomial of degree 1 less than the maximum elements. So total number of elements are 10. So 1 less than the total number of elements is 9. So we find a value of z defined as z0 such that T9 z0 will be equal to this R0, 20. Okay, keep this thing in mind. When you equate Chebyshev polynomial with this side lobe level, you should convert the dB value to normal values. Okay, and we substitute it here. Then T2m minus 1 is actually T9 z0 is equals to 20. Now, at this point, we have to think of a couple of things. Number one, we had understood that Chebyshev polynomial has two definitions. Chebyshev polynomial can have magnitude greater than 1, or if Chebyshev polynomial is having magnitude greater than 1, the definition of Chebyshev polynomial will be in terms of hyperbolic cosines. But if the magnitude of Chebyshev polynomial is less than 1, in that case it is defined in terms of cosine functions, as I have defined here. Okay, so I will go to the definition once. Yes, here. So you have to find value of z0 such that T9 z0, Chebyshev polynomial of degree 9 will be equal to 20. But we know very well that Chebyshev polynomial, the value or the magnitude of Chebyshev polynomial will lie between 1 and minus 1. In that case, you have to represent it in terms of cosine functions, as I have written over there. If this 20, this T9Z20, T9Z0, if this value is less than 1, in that case you use cos mu function. But if this value is greater than 1, say in this particular case as you can see, then definition of T9Z0 will be equal to cos mu. Okay, and what is this m? This m is the order. So T9Z0 in our case, since T9Z0 is greater than 1, you have to use the cos hyperbolic definition. Cos hyperbolic definition of Chebyshev polynomial of degree m, we have Tmz is equals to cos h mu. Okay, it is defined for mod z greater than 1, and where cos hu is equal to z, or u is defined as cos h inverse z. So replacing u here by cos h inverse z, you have T9z0 is equals to cos h nu, which is equals to 20, or replace u by cos h inverse z0, you have cos h 9 cos h inverse z0 is equal to 20. Later on, when you solve this using your scientific calculator, where the functions are available, so you find z0 to be equals to 1.0851. Okay, I I have chosen this experiment, this numerical, because this numerical is explaining how to mm, handle the situation when Chebyshev polynomial become greater than 1 or less than minus 1. Okay, so this is the value of Z0 at which the side lobe level will be 26 dB less than the maximum value of the major lobe. Okay, so this is the value of Z0. And now what we do, we substitute cos u is equals to Z by Z0 in the expression for array factor. Once you have this, how will this help you? So now cos u will be equals to, when you substitute cos u is equals to Z by Z0, this whole value Z by Z0 cannot be greater than 1 or cannot be less than minus 1. That means now this Z can vary from minus Z0 to plus Z0. Okay, we have scaling. We are scaling the Z parameter here. Okay, technically when you substitute cos u is equal to Z, Z cannot vary from, or Z cannot be greater than 1 or less than minus 1. But when you define cos u to be Z by Z0, Z cannot be greater than Z0 or less than minus Z0. This will help us to pull this particular side lobe level, or this condition, or this value Z is equals Z0 is equals to 1.0851 in our definition of the Chebyshev polynomial. Okay, so we replace cos u by Z upon Z0. If you are not comfortable with this, you should consider that you have to replace cos u by Z by Z0. That's it. So when you substitute this thing in array factor given in 4, the expression looks like this. So you have a1 cos u plus a2 cos 3u plus a3 cos 5u plus a4 cos 7u plus a5 cos 9u. Cos u can be replaced with, cos u is cos u itself. Cos 3u can be written as 4 cos cube u minus 3 cos u. Cos 5u can be by this, cos 7u by this, and cos 9u by this. Okay, and you replace every of the cos u by Z by Z0. So when you do that, the expression or the expression for array factor looks like this. You replace every of cos u by Z by Z0. So expression looks like this. Cos u into this particular coefficient, set of coefficient, or function of coefficient will be here. Second one will be here. Third one will be here. And fourth and fifth one will be here. Okay. So in this manner, okay, so in this manner you find the expression for array factor. Now you compare the expression for array factor with T9Z, as I have already told you. To compare this with the T9Z, the T9Z is you can find from the tables I have already designed, or using recursion formula you can find this. So T9Z looks like this particular expression. Now comparing power wise, the terms or coefficient with respect to power, you can see that with the coefficient of Z to the power 9 here, or go to step above, yes, in this particular case, when you replace cos u by Z0, then you have Z to the power 9 upon Z0 to the power 9 into 256 A5. So when we compare the power of Z to the power 9 in array factor and Z to the power 9 in T9Z, which is 256 here, when you compare the two things, you find that A5 is given by 2.0860. Using this value of A5 and comparing the powers of Z to the power 7 in array factor and the Chebyshev polynomial, the equation will be like this. 1 upon Z0 to the power 7, 64A4 minus 576A5 minus is equals to minus 576, and you have A5 is equals to 2.0860. Substituting here, when you solve it, you find that A4 is given by 2.8308. Similarly, A3, A2, A1, and all the coefficients you can find. Okay. Now the thing important here, as you can see, this is A5, this is A4, A3, A2, and A1. All these coefficients are in terms of not moving very far. I mean, there is no significant differences between the excitations provided to the antenna, number one. Number two, these coefficients are all fractional coefficients. So as I have already mentioned that these coefficients are actually relative measures of the excitation. So if you want, you can normalize all these coefficients, and for normalization what we do, we divide every of these coefficient by the maximum value of the coefficient. So the maximum value of the coefficient is corresponding to A1, that is 5.8377. So we divide every of these 5 coefficient by 5.8377, which leads to normalized coefficient given by A1 will equals to 1 because you are dividing A1 by A1, so you have 1. A2n will be equals to 0.890, then 0.706, then 0.485, and then 0.357. Okay, so in this manner we come to the design of the Chebyshev antenna. Okay, so please go through it. If you find any difficulty, you can talk to me personally, or we will talk on WhatsApp. Okay, so thank you very much.